विश्वं दर्पणदृश्यमाननगरी तुल्यन्निजान्तर्गतं पश्यन्नात्मनि मायया बहिर्वोद्भूतं यथा निद्रया यः साक्षात् कुरुते प्रबोधसमये स्वात्मानमेवाद्वयं तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। बीजस्यान्तरिवाङ्कुरो जगदिदं प्राङ्निर्विकल्पं पुनः मायाकल्पितदेशकालकलना वैचित्रचित्रीकृतं मायावीव विजृम्भयत्यभिमहायोगी वयस्वेच्छया तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। तस्मै श्रीगुरुमूर्तये नमः इदं श्रीदक्षिणामूर्तये। ॐ सहना भवतु सहनौ भुनक्तु सह वीर्यं करवावहै तेजस्विनावधीतमस्तु मा विद्विषावहै। ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः। सदाशिवसमारम्भां शङ्कराचार्यमध्यमाम् अस्मदाचार्यपर्यन्तां वन्दे गुरुपरम्पराम्। So yesterday we are discussing this threefold karmas with respect to for a Jivan Mukta, and we also discussed in that this Jnani's prarabdha continues, and the body will when it will fall, then when the exhaustion of karma takes place, because prakarshena arabdham, it has already begun, and we gave an example for that. It's like an arrow which has been released. So it has certain maximum distance it can travel. It will stop traveling only when, just a minute. So it will not stop traveling until it hits an object or loses its momentum. And we have no control over this momentum also once it is released. Before, until you release, you have a control, but not after that. So same way, this body also has come from the bow of Ishvara, and he is a karma phaladata. So one who has released the arrow according to the law of karma. Ishvara has released this arrow called this body according to the law of karma, and so the law is this bow. And one who wields the law is Ishvara, and he has released. So once it is born in a given form from conception onwards, then this will keep going as long as the momentum of karma will last, and then it will perish, of course. So it may be 100 years, 80 years, 90 years, what it may be, but it will be there. So it is Ishvara Srushti, we have seen that. So it will not disappear. Even after Jnanam, what will not disappear is Ishvara Srushti. What will disappear is Jiva Srushti. That's all. Because upadhi of a jiva is ajnanam. Through the shastra jnanam, shastra and teacher, one gains jnanam. So ajnanam goes. And what is born of ajnanam, that goes. That is jiva srushti. Definitely, because jiva is basically due to ajnanam only. That's upadhi. And the jiva srushti is what is born of ignorance, is definitely jiva srushti. And one thing only is there. In general, if you want to call, that is no notion. That's all. The notion goes. And other than that, everything continues. And therefore, the seer continues. Seeing continues. Object of seeing continues. And even eye sense also continues. But you won't claim, I am a seer. That's all. I am a witness consciousness. You say that now, in light of knowledge. And therefore, basically, eye sense continues, seer continues, everything continues. Hearer continues, hearing continues. Object of hearing continues, everything continues. Because this is all Ishvara Srushti. Only your notion that I am the seer, I am the hearer, etc. I am the ego, I am Jiva, I am Ahankara, etc. Whatever you say. That goes away. And therefore, since the eye sense continues and seer also continues, means He says also apparently that I am a seer. He says apparently I am a seer, I am hearer, because both are there. I sense also is there and seer also is there. I sense is there and hearer is there. And therefore all this continues. But why it should continue? Because the body continues. Only gross body knows the subtle body. All is Ishvara Srishti. That's what we have discussed. Through Maya, everything is there. Brahman plus Maya, all the three gunas only manifest. And therefore, whatever appears through three gunas, Pancha Mahabhutas, everything continues. So, subtle body continues. Everything continues. And so, only the notion goes away. That's all. I am a jiva, I am a doer, I am an enjoyer. All this is born of this ignorance that goes away. Doership continues, please understand that. Doership is actually in the mind. That's attribute of the mind, we have discussed that already. And then enjoyership will be there in the mind, that's there. I won't claim now that I am a doer. Earlier, when I was ignorant, I was saying I am a doer. I am an enjoyer. No, you are akarta, abhokta, atma. No, who are you? What are you saying? What are you saying? I have never heard of such thing. Okay, ignorance is there, definitely. So now he claims otherwise. He says, I am akarta, abhokta. Oh, then therefore kartrutvam, etc. is totally gone? No, apparently it continues. Kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam does not belong to Atma. Kartrutvam, bhoktrutvam belongs to this upadhi. And that is mind, basically. And therefore, earlier the ego was a reality for me. In absence of the knowledge, that basically I is a witness consciousness even of the ego, well, for me that knowledge was not there. So I was considering myself as ego. So I am jiva, I continued that way. And so whatever in the mind, everything was there. All attributes I consider as of my attribute. So I was saying I am angry, I am this, I am that. I am karta, I am bhokta, I am body. Only those notions drop. Just notions drop. And therefore everything means I should not claim. What belongs to Ishvara I should not claim. I was claiming. That's a Jiva Srishti. Jiva Srishti means a false claims. Jiva Srishti means this ego, which has no reality at all. Ego has no reality. Basically, and he false claimant. And so he just was claiming and claiming. What belongs to Ishvara, give it to Ishvara. Everything continues. So from the world standpoint of the world, now the same Jnani can tell that, well, I am Ishvara. Could you follow what I am saying? So, because Badhita, Ahankara, the Jivatvam is Badhitam. Badhitam means it has been falsified through knowledge. What has been falsified through knowledge is Badhitam. When nothing can be destroyed as such. We have seen that in Bhagavad Gita there are two types of destruction. One is physical destruction, while other is a destruction by knowledge. And basically here in Vedanta what we talk about is destruction by knowledge. So that is Badhitam. Badhitam means falsification. Mithyatva Nishchayaha is a Badha. So it's basically this is Mithya. Mithya means you will keep on experiencing. You will keep on experiencing everything. You won't keep on experiencing I-ness. Keep on experiencing I am doer. Keep on experiencing I am bhokta. Keep on experiencing I am seer. I am hearer. Everything keep on experiencing, but no reality. Like sunrise. You keep on experiencing. Day in and day out. Keep on experiencing, but no reality. Reality is I am witness consciousness. In presence of me, seeing takes place. That's a knowledge. I am seer is badhitam. I am not really seer. When I was ignorant, I was saying I am seer. I am hearer. I am doer. I am enjoyer. Do you think it is final reality? Yeah. This is what I am. He says this is self-identity. That's a self-identity. Now the self-identity has become different. Now he doesn't include all this in his self-identity. Earlier what he was telling in self-identity, now he doesn't say at all. Therefore it is not there at all. No, it will be there. Yeah. It doesn't, nothing becomes non-existent. Please understand this. I keep on repeating this. And please understand this. This is all Ishvara. Even seeing is Ishvara. The senses are Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. Just a notion born of that ego. Considering ego as a reality, I was claiming which was really belonging to Ishvara. And therefore, for a Jnani, everything is Ishvara. Everything is Ishvara. I sense is Ishvara, and therefore he may say, I am Ishvara. Don't get confused. Puja Swamiji has used before few lectures. I have heard. He was telling, I am Ishvara. Then Swamiji has used this way. I am Brahman, that's alright. How can I be Ishvara? And even Bhashyakara does not keep that kind of a, distinction in Bhashyam. You will sometime he writes I am Ishvara, and sometime he writes I am Brahman also. Both are right. Both are right. From the standpoint of Adhishthanam, I am Brahman, of all the names and forms. From the standpoint of all names and forms, I am Ishvara. That's from the standpoint of world. I am Ishvara. Because there is no demarcation between Jiva and Ishvara. That Jiva was born of ignorance. It has gone. It has gone, sir. And therefore, no, but Swami, you said apparent. Apparent it cannot be counted. Apparent continues because the body is there, for it continues. Then why the body continues? The Ishvara is there. There's a law of karma. So Ishvara Srushti. So you cannot decide when it should end. That's how you cannot decide any time what body should be. You cannot decide. Body is body. Body is body. Even if you don't like your looks, you are like this. Even if you don't like that your hair should not go, it goes. Your teeth should not go, it goes. You should be all the time healthy. Well, you put on weight. And you, vertically you may not grow, then sometimes we grow horizontally. Well, that all things will happen. Day in and day out, people have a complaint. My body should not be like this. I should not be like that. I should not be like that. But it doesn't follow your law. It doesn't follow your law. It just goes by Ishvara's law. And therefore, it will end when it is supposed to end. You cannot decide. In fact, nothing you can decide. And this all laws are Ishvara's law. Even I am doing right this like this, This also is because of Ishvara's law. Only I have freedom. I have freedom to choose whether to do this or not. That's correct. But once I decide to do, then the law immediately comes into the picture. Ishvara comes into the picture. Only my freedom is to whether to do this or not. That's all. I have freedom to open the mouth or not. Once I open the mouth, Ishvara comes into the picture. Immediately. The law law comes into the effect. Immediately. The very opening of the mouth itself is a law. And then whatever is there, that is also law. So this is how Ishvara is. And therefore, basically, Ishvara Srushti continues. And from the standpoint of Brahman, everything, that subject, object, so-called now, Badhita, Ahankara also is a Ishvara, that is subject. And the object also is, object also is Brahman, subject also is Brahman. Subject from the standpoint of Samashti, which includes subject and object, which is called Ishvara. From the standpoint of Brahman, when the name and forms are Mithya, I can say everything is Brahman. Subject is Brahman and object is Brahman. No, I don't want to say Mithya. But if I include subject and object both, I add everything together. And with the Adhishthanam, plus name and form. I don't say name and form Mithya, no problem. Then Ishvara. If you keep name and form from the standpoint of name and form, if you want to see, well, don't worry. It is Ishvara. No, from the standpoint of the truth of the name and form, well, name and form is Mithya. Then from the standpoint of truth of the name and form, truth of the subject and object, I am Brahman. I am Adhisthana. I am the truth. I am the Atma of both. I am the essence of both. That's how. So don't get confused. You can say identified with all names and forms, because identification with a given name and form is ignorance. Identification with a given name and form, is ignorance. So this is just by ignorance I have notion that I am this, and through that notion I have created division. Dvaitam is born of ignorance, and so Advaitam means what? I has been included in This I has expanded. That's how they say, if you give up a identification with a small thing, you can identify with a big thing. Yeah, you want to identify. That's the goal of the human being. He wants to become big, so big. He wants to become. He wants to cover in the eye. He wants to cover everything in the eye. Yeah, that's a desire. You cannot satisfy. The person will not be satisfied unless he covers everything in the eye. But he could not cover, because identified with this body, then he could not. So if you drop the ignorance, you will drop the identification with a given name and form. Once you disidentify with a given name and form, you can identify with all. But how can I be the, like Swamiji, my body is there. How can you say I am that? Yeah, I can say, because basically the truth of your body is also Brahman, and truth of this body also is Brahman. Truth of every name and form is Satchidananda. Truth of every name and form is Astivati Priyam. And therefore, I can tell I am everything. In fact, in Shiv Puranam, the verse is quoted. Wait a minute. How you have gone to Shiv Puranam? Vidyaranya had quoted in Panchadashi in chapter 8. In Shiv Puranam, it has clearly said, I am the owner of entire universe. Could you follow what I am saying? I am the owner of entire universe. Clay has a right over a pot. No one else has a right. Frankly speaking, clay only has a right. That pot belongs to me. No one has a right. And therefore, same way, I am the clay of entire universe. I am the material cause of the entire universe. I am the Brahman which provides an existence and illumination to entire universe. If I am not there, where is universe? Where is universe? And therefore all names and forms belongs to me. Yeah. And well, that's how. Therefore I can say, if I count all names and forms, I can say I am Ishvara. If I don't count names and forms, and I just count the truth of the names and forms, considering names and forms as a mithya, subtracting as such, well, then definitely I am the essence of everything. I am Brahman. Could you follow? So I am Ishvara or I am Brahman. Either way you can say. And therefore, this is what we call Ishvara Prapti. Well, so Shastra will give you a knowledge by which Ishvara Sakshatkara they call. Yeah, Sakshatkara. Sakshat karoti iti Sakshatkara. Sakshat karoti. One who gains a knowledge, well, they are Sakshat, which is aparoksham, which is immediate. Sakshat means which is immediate. So he knows the Ishvara as a immediate self. That is I. And therefore, Ishvara Sakshatkara, Ishvara Darshanam, Ishvara Prapti or Moksha, all are synonymous words. In this spiritual jargon, they say like this: Ishvara Darshan hua ki nahi? So whether have you got? So आपके गुरु ने दर्शन करवाया ऐसा हिंदी में. They say like that. Did your teacher make you see Ishvara? But has he seen the Ishvara and did he make you see the Ishvara? Yeah. So Ishvara is nothing but the self. No, Swamiji, it is Brahman. No, Ishvara. Okay, Ishvara. No, Brahman. So could you please understand? Include names and forms, Ishvara. But adding your names and forms and subtracting, you will not make any difference. No, it won't make a difference. Add name and form, no difference. Subtract name and form, no difference. That's what it is. Add name and form called ring in the gold, no difference. Subtract name and form in the gold. But how much gold, Swamiji? 100 gram. Okay, don't worry, we will not take much. 100 gram gold plus name and form is equal to 100 gram gold. Ring. And 100 gram gold minus ring, name and form. Still 100 gram. That's how it is. Either add Ishvara. Don't add name and form, Brahman. So I am Brahman, I am Ishvara. Either way you can say. Anyway. So this is enough. Now it is clear. All is Ishvara Srushti. And from where it has come? It has come from Brahman. And who is that Brahman? मैं Brahma. I am Brahman. And therefore, yato va imani bhutani jayante. Yena jatani jivanti. Yat prayanti abhisambishanti. Tat Brahma. From where everything, from which everything has come, everything is sustained, and to which everything goes back, is Brahman. That's how Bhrigu defined in Taittiriya. Anyway, so and that is how Vyasacharya started Brahma Sutra also. Athato Brahma Jignasa. And when, what is that Brahma? Kim Tat Brahma? Janmadyasya yatah, from which everything, Janmadi, Janmasya Bhangam, Yasmat, Tad Brahma. So from which the Srushtehe Janma, from which the whole creation has come, and by which it sustained and to which it goes. That's how even Vyasacharya started the Brahma Sutra. So this is the definition of Brahman, and that Brahman is me, from which everything has come. So whatever is there is me alone, because it has come from me. Clay can say everything has come from me. Well, then everything is me. And therefore, abhinna nimittopadana karanam, etc. Ultimately, that Ishvara is me alone. Well, earlier two upadhis. Yeah, avidya upadhi, jiva. And then he has a maya upadhi. Yeah, but then avidya gone. Then where are you now? Avidya has gone. Then avidya gone, then jiva gone. Oh, then Ishvara also gone. Then Ishvara Srushti continues. Ishvara Srushti continues. But the difference between jiva and Ishvara has no more there. The difference between jiva and Ishvara is from the standpoint of jiva, not from the standpoint of Ishvara. Yeah, Ishvara also has that, notion. Oh, this jiva is different from me. Well, then we need not have to worship him. That's all. Really speaking, he doesn't. He says everything is me. Jiva says that I am different from him. Yeah, that's a problem. Jiva says I am different from him. And that's just a notion. How that notion has arisen, Swamiji? Oh, he says I am this. I am this. Ah. Then that must be true, Swamiji, that I am really the body. No, sir. That belongs to Ishvara. This belongs to Ishvara. That's how. So only notion, now you understand. Only notion that I am the body. Please drop it. It's a hot potato. Drop it from your hand. Otherwise you will be burnt. Drop the notion. Once you drop that notion, you become everything. You become everything. Really. Everything. That's a dimension. A small dimension of I, and that too not real dimension. It's just a notion. It's a confusion regarding the self. That's how Tattvabodha has removed that confusion. Tattva Vivekaha. So discrimination with regards to this self. And that discrimination leads to the knowledge of the self, well, that I am everything. Ultimately I am everything. Everything is born of me. Everything is sustained by me. Everything goes back to me. Janmadyasya yatah tad brahma ahamasmi. And then what happens to this karma? So prarabdha karma, as I told you, it continues because everything belongs to the body, etc. belongs to Ishvara. It's a Ishvara Srushti that will continue. And as per the law of karma, it will continue. It has certain momentum, and that arrow will fall down when the momentum will end. And I don't have a control over the momentum, so let it be in the momentum. Whenever it will fall, whenever it has to fall, it will fall. Now, then another type of karma is sanchita karma. Sanchitam karma brahmaiva vahamasmi. Let's read it. Sanchitam karma brahmaiva vahamasmi iti nishchaya jnanena nashyati. So, the sanchita karma is destroyed, well, by the definite knowledge that I am Brahman. So by this well ascertained knowledge, Nishchaya Jnanam means which does not have a doubt or vagueness. I have told you, doubt will go through Shravana Mananam and vagueness goes through Nididhyasana. Vagueness means, I am Brahman. In class it is clear, or even during daytime sometime it is clear, yeah, I am Brahman, I am just a consciousness, pure consciousness. Puja Swamiji also used this. He doesn't like sometimes, but he has to use it. Free from the upadhis. Upadhi vinirmuktam. That's how Shuddha Chaitanya Mahamasmi. We have seen that in Mahavakya. So upadhi vinirmuktam. Free from the upadhi. And so Sometime I take myself as a upadhi, deha, etc. And therefore there is a vagueness. There is a vagueness. So the vagueness also goes through nididhyasanam. Then that is called nishchaya jnana. For such a person, well, the one who has this nishchaya jnanam, the sanchita karma is destroyed. So the person who was responsible for all the karmas, in whose account that sanchita karma etc. was standing, that account holder is falsified now. And in falsifying, actually the doership is falsified. So everything centered on that doership also is falsified. So there is we have already seen there is no question of real destruction. It is all gone by knowledge. Mithyatva nishchaya. Agami karma api jnanena nashyati kincha agami karmanam nalini dalagata jalavat jnaninam sambandha nasti. The agami karma is also destroyed by knowledge. Well, how? Like just the water on the lotus leaf, it is not affected. The water on the lotus leaf cannot affect the leaf as such, cannot wet it, I mean. Same way these wise men have no connection with agami karmas. It is not affected by agami karma. Whatever he does in this life, he will not be affected. Even though it generates punya papam, it will generate punya papam. Karma has to produce. See, understand that it's not that Swamiji, whatever he does, punya papa itself will not be generated. No. If noble actions are there, definitely punya is generated. If certain papa karma, even by mistake, suppose it has been done, it is going to generate papa. But definitely the account holder is falsified. Therefore it goes to somewhere else. It goes to somewhere else. It's like that. You say, I don't have account. No, but I want to give money. Okay, then give it to that this one, etc., etc. You tell like that. So same way like that. The account holder is not there. Then what? Okay. So he is the people who are around. They have certain attitude toward that jnani. They get accordingly. We'll see that. So agami karma means, as I told you, a plus gam dhatu. Gacchati means to go. Agacchati to come. So the result of these actions will have not come. It will come in the future life. In the future life. Then in the future life, if the prarabdha will be there, yeah. Prarabdha is a part of sanchita. But then where the agami will go? Agami after this fall of the body will join to sanchita. And it will, the sanchita will become more. So because part of the sanchita, right now you are, you have expenditure of that. Well, there is a debited from that. So definitely now you should have a credit. So you now add some more and by new earning. So this is how it is. So agami goes to the sanchita. From sanchita you will get a portion as a prarabdha. Again you will do few karmas in that life. Becomes agami. That body will fall. That agami will join to sanchita. That's how it continues. And agami joins to sanchita means it will not be sanchita plus agami. Agami becomes sanchita. That's what I want to convey. Don't think that agami joins to sanchita means agami plus sanchita. No, not like that. Agami becomes sanchita. That's how it is. Anyway, we have to clarify because that without clarification that could be a problem. Anyway, kincha ye jnaninam stunvanti bhajanti archayanti tan prati jnani kritam agami punyam gacchati. Simple. Kincha ye jnaninam stunvanti. Further, those who praise, well, bhajanti, serve, bhaj sevayam. So bhaj dhatu is in sense of seva. So bhajanti means those who serve him, archayanti, worship him, tan prati, towards them, jnani kritam agami punyam gacchati, towards them the agami punya. I mean the jnani, even after gaining jnanam, please understand. Before gaining jnanam in this life is not agami. Yeah, that it is agami, but it has a different kind of a gati. And the agami done right after gaining jnana. that we are talking about that. So that agami which he has done before gaining jnanam, in the state of ignorance, whatever he has done, that is agami, that will join to sanchita. But then after gaining jnanam, whatever he does, punya papa, etc., that has a different gati. So that's what he says here. And so, bhajanti, archayanti, tan prati, gnani kritam, agami. So that's how very clearly they say, of course. Gnani kritam. It has been done by a gnani, not as a agnani. He has done as a agnani also some karma in this life. That is also agami. But that will join to sanchita once his body will fall. And that sanchita will definitely gets, it is burnt totally. And therefore, gnani kritam agami punyam gacchati, towards that, the agami punya, done by that wise person, towards these people it will go. To whom it will go? Those who praise him, those who serve him, those who worship him, etc., etc. Well, towards them it go. Worship means here, pada pujanam, etc. they do. So towards them it goes. Ye jnaninam dindanti dvishanti dukkha pradanam kurvanti tan prati gnani kritam sarvam agami kriyamanam yadavachyam karma papatmakam tadgacchati. Ye, those who Gyaninam nindanti, those who abuse the wise man verbally, Dvishanti, dukkha pradanam kurvanti, Dvishanti, those who dislike this Jnani, those who dukkha pradanam kurvanti, those who give discomfort to this Jnani, tan prati, to them, Jnani kritam agami kriyamanam, Jnani kritam, done by the wise man, sarvam agami, so all this entire agami karma, kriyamanam, that the karma being done, kriyamanam is that being done, yad avachyam karma, that which cannot be described, means which we should not discuss, that's what it means. So avachyam means that which cannot be described. We keep on highlighting, oh, Gnani has done so and so papa karma, etc. It is not to be told. It is done by some mistake, and I will tell you few things like that. Anyway, so which cannot be described, papa-atmakam, and which is of the nature of papa. So papa-atmakam is which is of the nature of papa. Papa swarupam. Tad gacchati, that goes. So to those who abuse, dislike, give discomfort to the wise man, well, goes to the entire agami karma being done by the jnani, which cannot be described and which is of the nature of papa. So the agami karma of a jnani is also destroyed for him, because there is no doer to claim. There is no holder, account holder to claim. So both punya karma and papa karma, both are destroyed for him, basically, by the knowledge. And because the karma phala and doership goes together naturally. Doership and enjoyership. So as a doer he has done something, and well done, as an enjoyer he experiences that, whatever it is, papam or punyam. Pleasant or the experience of a pleasure or a pain, both. And therefore, since the doership and enjoyership has gone, he doesn't claim. It is there in the mind, as an attribute of the mind. They are there. As a Ishwar Sushti, they are there. That is, the doership has to be there, because body does, the senses do everything. So the doership has to be there somewhere ultimately. It should end somewhere. And therefore it is there. But then definitely he doesn't claim that he is a doer. That notion is dropped because that notion was born of ignorance. It has gone. So Jnani does not have this adrishta karma phala, that called punya papa. Drishta phala he has. All drishta phala he has. That we have to understand. Like, I will give you example. Suppose he goes to Rishikesh and takes bath in Ganges. Right? And he also chants some shloka, etc. Even without chanting shloka, he takes bath in Ganges. So he gets drishtaphalam. What drishtaphalam? Definitely because in this heat of summer, he gets some. He feels fresh, and he gets a coolness also, etc. But adrishtam he will not get. Punyam he will not get. Punyam, he goes to the people who have come along with him. This is just by the way. Who has come along with him, help him to take bath, etc. etc. So this is just an example. So Drishtafalam will always he will experience. Like he goes to somebody's place for a bhiksha and he eats. So when he eats, he gets a Drishtafalam. He's under Kshudha Nivrutti. Hunger will go. That's a Drishtafalam. But suppose he has eaten a fruit in a person's house who has earned the food through papam. Suppose he has earned the food through papam. So he is sharing that papam of that person. But that papam he will not go to him. Those people who dislike him, abuse him, give a discomfort to him, the papam will go to him. So this is really amusing, But we have to take it that way. Somewhere it has to go. Because apparent doership etc. is there, apparent enjoyership etc. is there. But he gets a drishtafalam, but he will not get adrishta. Punya papa he will not get. That goes to only the bank holder, the account holder, sorry. And therefore that account holder, he is not an account holder. So, kartrutva bhavat. So, doership being not there, he will not get that adrishtafalam. So, definitely because of this knowledge that I am Brahman, I am Akarta, etc., which was responsible for destroying Sanchita Karma, even Agami Karma also cannot come to him. Sanchita Karma cannot come to him, definitely because the holder is not there, and therefore same way Agami Karma also cannot come to him. So, Jnani has that body, mind, sense complex apparently, that because of that prarabdha, so with which he seems to doing the karma, but there is no connection. He doesn't have any connection. That's a knowledge. I tell you, even though if from our standpoint we feel that he is doing, he is seeing, he is eating, he is seeing, from his standpoint, he is not doing anything. From his standpoint, naiva kinchit karomi iti, etc., etc. So this is very amazing. And that is how he is so light. Even he does so many things. In fact, all the jnanis are the busiest people in the world, really. 18 hours, 19 hours, starting from Adi Shankaracharya ji or Vyasacharya ji, the way they have done the work, my God. I don't know when Vyasacharya ji wrote this Mahabharata, I don't know, 1 lakh verses. It is not simply writing. The writing was done by Ganpati, but he was giving a narration. And Mahabharata is a Panchamo Veda. Bharata Panchamo Veda. So, all the types of things have been discussed. All the Vidyas have been discussed, including psychology, including interpersonal relationship. All types of people are there. Bhishma has his own psychology. Karna has his own psychology. A deprivation and sense of deprivation and whatnot. And what can arise out of that? Everything. So much. And then Ashtadasha Purana, and then Brahma Sutra, and I don't know what else, Upa Puranas, and Kipan, entire Bhagavatam. So these people were so busy, but the load, we do little bit and we get tired. Don't think our body is tired. That's a load of Kartrutva. Anxiety is there. When the Kartrutvam is there, anxiety is there. And that anxiety is generally belong to the result of an action. And so, when I feel that I am a karta, then definitely I feel that I should not be unsuccessful any time. Whatever I do should be successful. I should get expected result, etc. Or more than expected. But I should not get less than expected. I should not get contrary to expectation. And that's a load. And that is why, when you give up that this doership, that load temporarily, even in the deep sleep state, you feel relaxed, honestly. And therefore it is you may get tired physically, that's one thing. But people get tired even in the morning after taking a sleep of 8 hours, 9 hours. Morning itself they get tired doing few things because that anxiety is there, which is attached to the doership. And therefore if doership is not there, and that definitely then Bhoktrutvam also is not there, the sense of guilt and hurt and etc. are not there. You are free to do. That freedom is there, then you can do lot of things in a day. And still since the anxiety is not there, your efficiency etc. also increases. This is just by the way. Here it has nothing to do with the efficiency, etc. But what I am saying is, since there is no connection, sambandha with that particular karma done by this done by this body mind sense complex, and that's how they give you an example. Nalini dalagata jalavat jnaninam sambandha nasti. Jnani does not have any connection with the body mind sense. Jnani has no connection with the body mind sense complex. Really, no connection. No kind of a relationship can be established between a body and consciousness. No kind of a relationship can be established between a mind and consciousness. No kind of a relationship is established. What kind of a relationship is established between a pot and clay? What is a relationship? Oh, Swamiji, you are full. There is a karya-karana relationship. Cause-effect relationship is there. Oh, cause-effect relationship. Do you think the clay has really given rise to a pot? Do you think clay has given a bud to a pot? Do you really think so? Just like, a parent has given a bud to a child. Do you think clay is a parent of a pot? Do you think so? There is no cause-effect at all. What you call pot is clay. And therefore, definitely, don't think it's anirvachaniya relationship. It's anirvachaniya. Same way, consciousness and mind is no relationship. That's how in between that maya is there, which is anirvachaniya. that in between that maya is there. Yeah, no relationship. How can a consciousness can give rise to mind? How can consciousness give rise to the body? It doesn't have any limbs, it doesn't have anything which can give rise to such an effect. Can give rise to body. No relationship. Nothing. And that is why in between we put a maya in order to make it a cause. In order to make the Brahman as a cause of the entire universe, in between we say it has a achintya shakti. Well, it has a very inexplicable power. The power which definitely cannot be categorized. Such power Brahman has. Mithya power. It is there. Well, so when I look at the Brahman, I don't find it. But when I look at the creation, I will have to say he has a power. Could you follow? So this is how it is. When I look at the creation, I will have to say Brahman cannot give rise to this universe. What a wonderful universe it is. My God. No two things are same. No two things are same. In a given species, you find, the Vruksha is one species. And then amoeba is another species. And the virus is a third species. And the bacteria is another species. But in a given species called Vruksha, there are several varieties. And in a given subspecies called mango tree, there are several varieties. My God. Mexico mango is different from Indian mango. In India also there are several varieties. Andhra produces a different kind of mango and then Gujarat produces. Anyway, what I am saying is, how can Brahman, which is free from any kind of limbs, can give rise to such a variegated creation? How can it is possible? No answer. No, but you have to answer. Okay. We have one. People are so fanatic about the answer, fanatic about the creation. And for such fanatic people, we say this is Maya. Yeah. Our Upanishad declares that Sarvam Khalidam Brahma. Everything is Brahman. And there are people walking on the earth, they say everything is Brahman. He says, we don't see anything other than Brahman. No, but we see creation. Okay, good, no problem. Then there is a power. If you say there is a creation, we say creating power. If you say there is sustenance of the universe, we say sustaining power. If you say the whole creation dissolves, or an individual thing, we see it is dissolving, it is going, it is destroying. Okay, destruction power. We don't like that word, destruction power. It's a resolving power. Pujya Swami says never use destructive power. And that too ultimately you are going to associate with the Brahman, that is Parmeshwara. Oh, Parmeshwara has a destruction power. Hey, don't say that. Resolving power. That's better. In order to keep his status proper. So don't use this kind of word, destruction power, destructive power. That's even a worse word, destructive power. My God, don't say that. Anyway, we should have a proper words for all this. What I am saying is ultimately this creation. When we say, then we introduce the word Maya. That's a power. So anyway, so one who knows this, honestly, I'm telling you, from his standpoint, he's not doing anything. Like I'm telling you, if I can give you a closest example, the example of an actor, even though he does lot in a given film, looks lot, fighting and running and this and that and talking and arguing and everything and marrying and not marrying and getting divorced and everything, from his standpoint, he just doesn't do anything. He just doesn't do anything. And for me and you, we feel terrible. We feel that the actor is going through all kinds of pleasure and pain and what not. Swamiji, I cried, when I found my favorite actor, and he underwent so and so suffering. I cried, Swamiji, so much. Whole bucket was filled in that theater. Then you will say anything. But from his standpoint, no suffering. Nothing he has done, nothing he is experiencing. Nalini dalagata jalavat. Nalini dalam means a leaf of a lotus. And then there is some water drops on that leaf. Whatever time it will remain, let it remain. It cannot wet the leaf of the lotus. So long as the body mind sense complex is there, it is doing karma. Body mind sense complex are all the time doing karma. This fellow is sitting right there. This fellow, what fellow? But this person is sitting right there. He says, I am not doing anything. Naiva kinchit karomiti navadvare puredehi naiva kurvanna karayan. Pashyan, shunvan, sprushan, jigran, ashnan, gachan, swapan, shwasan, pralapan, visrujan, unmishan, nimishan. My God, so many activities. On Pashyan, shunvan, sprushan, jigran, ashnan, gachan, swapan, swasan, everything is going on. Naiva kinchit karomiti. Well, that's a vision. And therefore, this is freedom. This is freedom. This is the freedom. The bondage is kartrutva. Kartrutvam is a big bondage. That load and guilt and hurt, everything is bondage. All this is samsara. Since the kartrutvam itself has gone, all other samsara has gone. All other calamities have gone. So it remains untouched. Asangaha, asangoyam purushaha. I am asangaha. Not just a word. He knows the meaning of it. That's the clarity he has. That's a Jivan Mukta who knows what is meant by asanga. He says asanga cannot be anywhere else other than the self. He says so. Well, asanga cannot be anywhere else other than myself. I am asanga. This ananda cannot be anywhere else other than myself. That clarity, he can declare that. He declared. But Swami, does any Gnani declares? Yeah, he declares. In Bhruguvalli he declares. Very beautifully declares. Aham annadaha, etc. In that Samaganam, he declares. Aham annam, ahamannadaha. Ahagashloka gruda hagrashloka gruda hagashloka gruda ahamasmakrita bhai, etc. That Samagana shows the ecstasy of the Jnani, the joy of a Jnani, and that joy is born of freedom. Joy can never be born of a bondage, and that bondage is not a physical bondage. Its bondage is dropping the hot potato, dropping the very notion that I am Karta. I am Akarta to begin with, even I don't know. Now I know. That's all. The difference is I have dropped the notion that I am not a Karta. The freedom from doership is dropping the notion that I am a doer. That's all it means. And therefore, definitely, this is a state of a Jivan Mukta. Nalini Dalagatavat Sambandha Nasti, as there is a no relationship between a drop of water and the leaf of the lotus, same way, the Jnani does not have any relationship with this body mind sense complex, and therefore even if that doership, he doesn't have a relationship. The doership is right there. Now he doesn't claim it that I am the doer. That's all. So a Jnani may teach and do various things. What happens to his punya papam generated through this karmas? What will happen? So then they say day to day this punya of the Atmagnya, etc. The person who is Atmagnya means Atmagnani is taken away by the people who worship him, who praise him. And Jnani does not get it. Somebody else gets it. Somebody means the people who are around and who are praising, and we have seen that, etc. They will get it. And similarly, there are those who censure him, dislike him, hates him, talks abusive word. But they may not talk directly. Sometimes they may talk directly also, depending upon the issue. Yeah, there are several psychological issues arisen once a shishya starts living with the guru, and one of that is a psychological issue is a transference. And that is a very big issue of a transference. I don't want to talk right now, but there are issues which Jnani or the Guru has to handle. Other than the knowledge, this also thing he has to handle. Anyway, so even some Jnani does some kind of a papam, and this is in inverted comma. So these people will get his papam. So this agami karma done by Jnani because of prarabdha, which may attract papam, they say it is avacham, means we should not talk about, goes to such people. Then the question, well, of course you say, will a Jnani perform a papa karma or not? And I have told you that's a possible, because indirectly, unknowingly, etc., he may share a responsibility of a papa karma done by someone else. That is possible. Now I don't want to discuss. We have discussed it can arise. So some pap karma may occur due to certain karma of a Jnani, but they do not touch him. That's what they have given an example of a Nalini Dalagatavat. And therefore, they go to the one whoever censures or abuses him. And generally people do some kind of a, ninda of, at least you don't talk directly to him, but then in between the shishyas that keep on going, ninda, etc. of a Jnani, etc. Well, then they will be affected. So that's how they say about a Jnani one should not talk. And there is another reason also. There is a logic behind. The logic is, you can never know what is the state of his mind. Because apparently you will look at his body, mind, sense complex and decide everything. But this person is basically unconnected. Knowing himself free from the doubt and vagueness that I am Asanga. They doesn't say that Brahman is Asanga or Parmeshwara is Asanga, Atma Asanga. They never say so. They never say. Asangatvam means immediately in their mind their own nature comes. Well, I am Asanga. The Shastra's words are a reality for that person. That is Jivan Mukta. Free from the doubt and vagueness means what? Whatever Shastra describes about Atma, he does not look upon them as a third person. He all connects to him. And for connection, if the time takes, then definitely the Nishtha is not there. Oh, I am Asanga, let me think over. How can I be Asanga? Oh, then there is vagueness of the knowledge. There is vagueness of the knowledge. There may be doubt also. Yeah, Sangatva, I cannot be a Sangha. I am Sangha, I am Sambandhi. Puja Swamiji says, I am Sambandhi. I am related to everyone. You are not a Sambandhi, sir. You are basically having no Sambandha to everything. So, if the doubt is there, then definitely Asakti is there. Asakti is not there and therefore doubt is gone, but still vagueness is there because of the Dehatma Buddhi. And therefore, well, both the things are gone. Nishchay Jnanina, they have told. Nishchay Jnanina. So, whatever Nishchay Shastras have done, that Nishchay is of me also. Jnani's Nishchay and Shastra's Nishchay are one alone. One alone. Shastra's Nishchay and my Nishchay about myself are different. Well, then Either there is a doubt or there may be vagueness, either. And therefore both. So that is not Nishya Jnana. So this is how Shastra's Nishya about the self is the Nishya of me. He is a Jivan Mukta. And that is how. So basically, so Jnani is Agami Karma anyway, has nothing to do with him. And definitely he can have a Drishtaphalam of a karma that I have told you, but a Drishtaphalam does not go to him. It goes to someone else who are having a certain kind of an attitude towards a Jnani. Depending upon the attitude, either Punyam or Papam goes. Tatha cha Atmavit samsaram tirtva brahmanandam ihaiva prapnoti. The Atmavit tatha cha means and thus Atmavit, the knower of the Atma, samsaram tirtva, crossing the samsara. And I have told you what is samsara means. Brahmanandam, Brahman, that is fullness. Iha eva, here itself, prapnoti, gains through the knowledge, means through knowledge. And thus the knower of Atma crossing samsara gains this Brahman. By knowledge he gains this Brahman, which is fullness. And here itself, that is the Jivan Mukti. Here itself means while living. So Atmavit means one who knows Atma crosses sorrow. Tarati Shokam Atmavit. Recently only you have heard, so you can understand that. Tarati Shokam Atmavit. So here they have used the word Atmavit. Atmavit Samsaram Tarati. Atmavit Shokam Tarati. So one who knows Atma is free from the sorrow. And sorrow means, I have told you, sorrow includes everything. Sorrow includes guilt, sorrow includes hurt, sorrow includes discomfort with oneself, sorrow includes a sense of limitation with oneself. All this is called sorrow. But Swamiji, sorrow arises of what? Sorrow arises of any of this. Guilt can ultimately leads to sorrow. Hurt can lead to sorrow. A sense of limitation centered on self leads to sorrow. A discomfort centered on the self leads to sorrow. Therefore, all this is sorrow, ultimately. So, this is Shokam means it covers everything, which we in general, other way we call it Samsara. So, they have used word, instead of Shokam, they have used word Samsara. Shokam Tarati in Chandogya. Here it is said Samsaram Tirtva. So, same thing. So, the Brahmanandam, which is moksha, well, he gains right here in this world, in this life, within the body. Yeah, because basically he is free from the sorrow. He doesn't become free from the sorrow. He knows Atma, which is free from the sorrow. So, therefore, he knows the self. He is awakened to himself now. Oh, I am free from sorrow. That's what, he becomes free from sorrow. So, he becomes free from sorrow means what? He knows the self which is free from the sorrow. That's all it means. Anyway, and then, well, Brahmanandam iheva prapnoti, and within this body itself we get it, because within the body means while living he gains it. So after that there is no travel for such a person. But after that there is travel, then there is no freedom. If one dies, then travel is there. If one does not die, then there is no travel. We have to take it little ulta. You see, that this is so if you die means there is travel. Jnani says, I don't die. Really? Jnani does not say. See, in fact, the Jnanam is what, I have never taken birth and I have never died. That is Jnana. That's a Jnana. We feel that now he says, Hash, acha ho gaya. Now I will not. Anyway, I have taken birth, but that is a last birth. And now I will die, but then I will not again take a birth. He is not a Jnani. He is not a Jnani. Jnani knows that I have never taken birth or I have never died. Because of ignorance, I was thinking that I am subject to birth and death. Now I know, I am the Atma which is free from birth and death forever. And therefore, one who dies will definitely, he has no freedom. He has travel and he has to take a birth, etc. One who knows that I am the Atma who is Ajaha, Ajata. That's how yesterday I was telling you, Ajatavada. Ajatavada means we are Ajatvadi. There is no real birth. But then there is the experience of birth. Let it be. Ajatavada means Mithya Janma Vada. Mithya Jatavada. Ajatavada means Mithya Jatavada. Jatam means born. What is birth, etc., or death, etc., is a apparent thing. You have experienced it, but it is in reality it is not there. That's what it means. Like sunrise. So Mithya Janma Vada. Mithya Jatavada. That's the only way to understand Ajatavada. So if one knows that, the self is Ajatah, when one does not die. Oh, I have never taken a birth. If you have never taken a birth, means you are not going to die? Yeah, I am not going to die. Well, okay. Then you will not have any travel. Will not keep any vehicle for you. No problem. So there is no travel. Death is only for the born. Atma is not born. And he says, I am Atma. Well, then I have never taken a birth. And therefore, Puja Swami says the dead are called the departed in our culture, because there is no death as such. There is only a departure. There is only a departure. One who dies will depart, will have a travel. The departed person also always travel. So when one departs from this place, definitely one is dead to all, in this place. And people will say the person is gone, departed. But one goes to another place where people will say one has arrived. They say like that. When someone is born, they say he arrived. And they even at the time of birth itself, when the child is born, immediately they start. Oh, grandfather has arrived. They say like that. Or grandmother has arrived. So then immediately they start. The features are going to be, going to change after some time. But immediately they start. Anyway. So where people will say one has arrived, one is reborn, they say people will say that he has arrived. And when someone dies, he said he has departed. So definitely, departure means travel. And therefore, definitely in our culture, the word departed is widely used because there is a travel after leaving a given body. And we are not doing rituals for the dead people. We are doing rituals for the departed one. Please understand that. That's how we have that 11th day and 12th day and 13th day and all this. All 13 days we have something. That's for departed one. Because we do something, we provide some provisions. We provide something for his departure, for his travel. So for us there is no one dead. There is a departed soul. Anyway, so this is an expression that reveals our attitude towards our ancestors. Ancestors are all departed. For departed we do Shraddham, for departed we do Tarpanam, everything for departed, not dead one. For dead one, what is to be done? Nothing to be done. In fact, there is nothing to be done because it will not reach anywhere because the person is dead. No, person has departed. He has gone from this place. So we say he is dead to this place now. But where he has gone, well, there they will say, oh, he has arrived. They say that. So when he reborn, then he says he is arrived. So one would discover anyway, but this is all departure and arrival and everything for the person who thinks that he is born and he has a death, etc. The person who knows that I am having no birth, no death, etc. Well, I am unborn, then I am not subject to birth or death, then there is no departure also. There is no travel also. Well, then he has nothing. So he has a Videya Mukti. So tarati shokam atmavit iti shrutehe. Tarati shokam atmavit iti shrutehe. So because of the Shruti statement, the knower of Atma is basically crosses the sorrow. Freedom. I am not subject to sorrow. That's what he knows now. Atmavit means one who knows that I am not subject to sorrow because Atma is not subject to sorrow. Then lastly it says, Tanum tyajatu va kashyam shvapachasya grihe athava jnana samprapti samaye muktah asau vigatashayah iti smritescha. Okay, Shruti has talked, Tarati Shokam Atmavit. Chandogya has talked about the person who knows the self. well, he crosses the ocean of the sorrow, because Atma is free from the sorrow, and therefore he knows that Atma clearly, free from the doubt and vagueness, and so he says he is free from the sorrow. Now Smriti, that was a Shruti statement. Now Smriti's statement is there. Iti Smritescha. Iti means this is so, because the Smriti also tells. Tanum Tyajatu, let him abandon the body. Smriti says like this. For whom? For the person who is a Jivan Mukta, for a Jnani, for a wise person, it says like this. Let him abandon the body. Tanum Tyajatu. Tanum means body. Tyajatu, let him abandon. Kashyam va, in Kashi. Athava Swapachasya Grihe, athva in the house of a dog eater. Vigata Shaya. Well, Vigata Shaya means he has no preference for a particular place. For whom? Ashaya means an abode, residence, place. Vigata, gone. You know, Viragaha, we have a one word Viragaha. Vigataha, Ragaha, Yasmat iti Viragaha. And the person's disposition is called Vairagyam, dispassion. So, Viragaha, Vairagyam. Viragaha means the person from whom the raga has gone, attachment, etc. has gone. And his disposition is called Vairagya, dispassion. Anyway, here also Vigata Ashaya, for one whom all abodes have left. So he has no special preference for a place where the body will fall. He has no preference. Let it fall anywhere, either in Kashi or either in the house of a dog eater. Asau Jnana Samprapti Samaye. Asau means this Jnani, Jnana Samprapti Samaya, at the time of gaining knowledge, he itself is liberated. And therefore, he doesn't have since he is liberated, he doesn't have a choice. Because there is a belief that if one dies in a Kashi, one will go to heaven. So a lot of people go to Kashi. In fact, in Kashi, there are some chowtries. Chowtries are there, where you can book your room. And right now you can book. I mean, I'm not telling you, I'm telling in general. So, and you can book a room and you can go. If you feel now that I feel Swamiji, the time is near. Oh, so I want to go to Kashi now. And people go to Kashi and stay there till the death takes place. Because they say Kashyam. The Kashi is considered as a moksha puri. So if you at the time of death you are in the Kashi, definitely you get moksha. So it's a symbol of a moksha. There are several moksha puris are there, and one of that is Kashi. So here the Smriti says, let this wise person give up this body either in Kashi or in the house of a dog eater, but at the time of gaining knowledge itself, he is already free. Free from what? Free from birth and death. And therefore let the body falls anywhere. Body has a birth and body has a death. So let the body fall at any place. He is liberated because he is liberated not because of a special place of a death, but that's a relative liberation. If you die in a Kashi and get a moksha, that is apekshika mukti, you will get a better birth, definitely. When we look upon these all vakyas have a validity, because no one in the world can tell us that what will happen after the death. If some person may write some story of after death story, we cannot believe that, because actually no one can see it. You have to believe that person and go by that. But Shastra says it's better that we give a validity to a Shastra, because Shastra is apaurusha vishaya. Anyway, so apekshika mukti may be there. Apekshika mukti is relative freedom, relative liberation, and that is he may get a better birth, he may get a knowledge in that birth, etc. That is possible. Or he may be in some loka where he can live very long. He gets a body, like a deva's body. So where you can live very long, that is possible. So since he is already liberated here while in the body itself, so where he dies does not matter. So he is Vigata Ashaya, all places, all abodes. Ashaya means have completely gone for him. Vigata means gone from him. So this is how it is, and therefore there is no question of his going to some place or coming back, because he knows that he is the one who never goes anywhere, never comes back. I am limitless. Where limitless can go? Earlier he knows now very sure that it was an error that I was considering myself as a one who goes and comes back, etc. One who has the janma and marana, etc. Well, actually I am free from that and I am limitless, and therefore there is no going to some place or coming back. iti Tattvabodha Prakaranam Samaptam. So this Prakarana, this book, talk about the subject matter unfolded in the Vedanta Shastra, well, the various terms and prakriyas, etc., methods that are used, Shariratraya Viveka, Avastha, Traya Viveka, and etc., and Panchakosha Viveka, etc. All these are prakriyas, methods, which are used for gaining the knowledge of the truth, the reality, called Tattva. And so it is this text which contains all these things, methods and various terms, etc., of the Vedanta, and which has given rise to a knowledge of a discriminative knowledge of this, the Tattva or the Atma or a truth. Well, it is completed, Samaptam. So Samaptam is a very beautiful word whose meaning is not an end or over or finished, etc., completed or accomplished. So by this text we have accomplished. What we have accomplished? Tattvabodha we have accomplished. We have accomplished the knowledge, discriminative knowledge regarding the self, that is the truth. Why but discriminative? Because there was a self-confusion to begin with. Before I started, there was a confusion regarding the self, and through the discriminative inquiry, well, we have arrived at the knowledge of the self, which is the truth of the entire universe. So this Jeev, Jagat and Ishvara, everything is nothing but one entity alone. Jeev, Jagat and Ishvara, which is created through Maya, it is a mithya thing. The Brahman is the reality for everything. So, and therefore I am free, I am limitless, I am the truth of the entire creation, I am truth of Ishvara, I am truth of the world, I am truth of the so-called Jiva. And that Brahman, which is limitless, which is fullness. Limitless means fullness. There is nothing other than me. There is nothing which can create a sense of limitation in me. Because anything which can create a sense of limitation is mithya. And therefore, since there is mithya, I am free from any limitations. In reality, I am limitless, fullness. So I am Brahmananda, I am Ananda Sarupa, I am Brahman, which is fullness. So this is how we have finished this text called Tattvabodha. Om Purnamadav Purnamidam Purnat Purnamudachyate Purnasya Purnamadaya Purnamevavashishyate. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Harihi Om Shri Gurubhyo Namaha. Harihi Om.